Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Blue Maxima and I'm here checking out Maliya. Before we get into this, know that this video will be kind of insane. Like, this game is brain-bending in many different ways, but we'll give it a decent shot anyway, a recent shot. What the hell's a recent shot? But anyway, this is Maliya. Welcome! That happens every time, by the way. So if I go to the gallery, which is weird because there's no need for this gallery to be here. It's just a bunch of random art. Like, I've seen a couple of these before, but at the same time, what's the point of including all these? Like, this game's made by Spanish people, so I think it's Spanish? Netherlands, something like that. I'm not going to claim to know for sure. But it's still very weird. Just why there's a gallery there. We have credits. It looks like something that's been made in PlayStation Mobile, honestly. Like, this is the default Unity font. Even I know that, and I don't even know Unity that well. So, anyway. First thing I want to do is I want to go through the how to play section. There we go. So, you get 10 cards. Everyone else does. There's 4 suits. And the initial suit is the strongest, unless... And there's a weird numbering system, which I'll get onto. Except if it's a Triunfos, which really should... They should just call that the trump card or something. Like, it's weird. And the Triunfo is always stronger than everything else on the board. And after earning 35 points, you start to add game points. And if you have 35 game points, you win. The majority of that last bit was a lie. It really was. But anyway, we're going to go to story mode and we're going to make a new game. Oddly enough, I wasn't able to win the first round, but it gives you passwords. I'm not even kidding. Like, it doesn't even bother to save your game. It just gives you passwords. That's amazing. But anyway, this poorly written English story. A time-space travel ship, although his colleagues indicate that his ship imploded in one of his experiments. Where is he? But yeah, the English in this game... If pay attention, the Maliya is our weapon and official defense. Double dot. And then you just immediately put onto the game, which is the same tutorial that you got before, except it's got the kid's name up in there. But anyway, let's get on to the actual card game. It says take a chance. I thought this was a loading screen. It's not, you have to tap it. I don't understand why, but anyway. You're given a random player number for no reason whatsoever, so you have to remember what your player number is when the thing comes up the top. But anyway. So, here's how the game works, as the thing explained before. You start out with 10 cards, and they each have different numbers to them. So, you have different numbers, and these all have different hierarchies. So, you can come back here to see the actual point numbers. So, 7 is at the top, Ace is number 4, Ace is 4th, so, not 4th. 4 points, 7 is 5 points, so, and then everything under that just goes down by point value. So, it's somewhat interesting. So, let's actually play a few rounds. So, the 7 is the strongest, but that means you kind of want to save it. So, I'm going to put down my 12, because it's the strongest thing I have at the moment. Unfortunately, that guy put down an ace, and I got screwed. So, see, you can't tell who won, because it says player 2. But player 2 might be you, it might be the guy on the right, might be the guy at the top, I don't know. You can only really tell by the amount of the simple points that goes up. So, I actually get to move last this time. But, as we can see here, someone's already put down a 7. So, the idea is that the initial suit that gets put down is the strongest suit. So, everything else outside of that suit will lose, except for the Triunfos, which is up the top right, which doesn't change throughout the game. So, if I wanted to win this hand, I'd have to put down my ace or my 10. I'll put down my ace, because that gives me a ton of simple points, so I now have 13 simple points. Play continues like this. You try and outwit your opponent. Obviously, the 7 of the... I think that's it's a cup. It's got an actual name in the original Spanish or whatever it was, but at the same time, I'm not going to be bothered to remember those names. I'm just going to go by the symbols. So, I'm just going to drop, like, a weak card and let the hand play out. But yeah, as you can see, the guy who put down the ace won. So now it's my turn again. So 3, 5, and 10. I can't win unless I put down a Triunfos, so I might as well put down a Triunfos, but it didn't give me that many points. The way this game allocates points is fucking insane. It makes no sense. It feels like a complete random. It says that some of the cards are worth points, but the cards, like, if I go to the card hierarchy, it says 6 through 2 are worth 0 or 1 point, but doesn't state when those are worth those points. I have had hands with multiple, like, 10, 11s, 12s only give me, like, a couple of points. And, God, it only gets worse from here. But anyway, I'll put this down. I lost. I'll put a 7. No, it's not worth it. I can win with an 11, so I'll put that down and I won. I'll put a 6 down. I still didn't win. I'm not going to win because someone put down the 7 Trunfos, so I might as well put that down. God, I'm not going to win anyway, and I've got 2 7s, not great. And I'm not going to win again because I don't have to... it's a freaking blue. But anyway. Were you paying attention to the way simple points were handed out and turned into game points? I had 20 simple points and I got nothing. That kid had nowhere near as many points as I did, and he still got 5 game points. Well, to be fair, he probably did have more points. I wasn't paying too close attention, but the game lied when it said when you have 35 simple points, they get turned into game points. So I have no idea how the points in this game work. I really don't. It's complete madness. Absolute madness. I do not understand. The card game itself isn't actually that bad. It just makes no fucking sense. The Trunfos is actually possible to win here, so I'll put that down, because why not? No, I don't want to put down a 7. That's my trump card. Yeah, I P1 by putting down a low Trunfos. I'll put down that Trunfos so I can get that card, but... Again, the scoring system in this game just makes no sense. So, I'll drop a 3 and player 2, 1. And who's player 2? I've got no idea. Oh yeah, it's probably that guy on the right side. Someone put down the Trunfos so I can't win, so I'll put down just this one because it's the worst card I have. 5, 4. I'll put down an ace and someone's going to put down a Trunfos, I bet. No, I actually won that one. Okay. I'll put down my ace. Why not, right? He won that? Really? I'll put down my 7, and he put down a low Trunfos, and I'm not going to win this one either. So, that kid had 15 points, I had 15 points, the other kid had... Okay, 15, 15, 20, 20. Also, you have to press X in order to move on to the next round instead of tapping the screen. This is the only part of the game that requires you to do that. Everything else is touch-based. I don't see the point. But anyway. So, I got 2 game points. The kid up the top got no points. The kid on the right got no points. The kid on the left got no points, but he kept his simple points. This makes no sense. The game does not explain this in any way, shape, or form, and I've just been flapping around like a fish out of water trying to figure out what the fuck this game wants me to do. I have no idea. Does it keep, like, the amount of simple points I've earned off to the side? Then why do the simple points not get taken away at the end of every single round? Does it not, like, what? How does it convert simple points to game points? It makes no sense. It makes no bloody sense. It makes no sense whatsoever, and it's so confusing. Oh yeah, that was a 7. I gotta remember that the 7 is always the trump card. Yeah, he put down a 7 in the ultimate suit, but now he put down a Trunfos, so that was my only way to win. They really should call that just a trump card. Like, you know what? I've got my second monitor open at the moment, so I can Google something without interrupting the recording. So, what does T-R-I-U-N-F-O-S? I'll Google that. First link immediately gives me a Spanish to English. Yeah, it stands for Triumph, Victory, Success, and Win. Why didn't they just call it that if they were going to translate it to English? I have no fucking idea. What are they thinking? What's the matter with them? Ugh. My brain. Can you feel my brain breaking? I don't stand a chance of winning this either way, so yeah. Well, he put down that, so I can put down the 7 and win and get a fair few points. That I'm not going to win either way, so I'll put down the weakest card I have. I'm still not going to win either way, and the next round starts. I lost all my simple points, gained no game points. The kid on the right lost some of his... On the left, sorry. Lost some of his simple points and gained no game points. Can someone tell me how this makes sense? Just, if you have an explanation, please leave this in the thing. Because I went and looked this game up on their fucking Twitter. And this game is brand new. At least as far as I'm aware, this game is brand new. Like, What's the name of it again? Maliya. I'm gonna fucking Google it. I really should have Googled the name of this game first, but Maliya. I Google Maliya. And yeah, there's nothing here. Nothing here. There is a game. The game does have a more Spanish name for it. At least I think that's what it is in the help file, but I'm not going to go out of the game to Google that. So the Trunfos this time is the blue sword, but the blue sword, I've only got a 7 of that. So I'll just put in one of my weaker cards. It's a 7. Great. I don't stand a chance either way. Why did I put in my ace? My ace is actually pretty useful there. I'm not going to win this one. And it's not going to be worth using my Trunfos for that. I won that one. Okay. The game doesn't really have that much strategy to it. It's basically luck. Like, you have to put down your card based on what you can see, but you can't see what everyone else can see. And sometimes sometimes you're forced to put down your card first right away immediately. And you just don't have a choice in the matter. And it's infuriating. And sometimes you're forced to do it multiple times in a row, so it's not even that much of an advantage. So, yeah. Kind of infuriating, honestly. Like, what's the point? No real strategic benefit to this game at all. At least it's got one thing going for it. It's bloody cheap. It's like $2 on the store, and I paid that $2 because I thought, a card game. Might be interesting to keep one of those around while I'm waiting for Ascension to come out. Hint, hint, Ascension developers, aka Playdeck. Where the hell is Ascension? But, yeah. It's crazy. It's fucking insane. It does nothing. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I got a ton of points for that. The scoring system makes no sense. The translation lies to you. And sometimes it just comes with weird things up the top, and sometimes you have to go multiple times in a row, which means you lose the advantage. It's just, like, is there even an advantage? Like, sure, maybe if you were more than capable of counting cards, you might be able to remember, like, who's got what, so you might be able to, like, strategically plan out what cards you're going to put down next, but I really shouldn't have put down that 7. That was a bit of a fault on my part. But yeah, okay, so pay attention. We've got 22, 16, and 32. Let's see how this converts to points. Nothing, nothing, and nothing. It's so random. Unbelievably random. And these games can take forever, by the way. You need 35 game points to win. And for, like, several rounds of game, nobody earns a single game point. Because you need to get the 35 game points in order to successfully win, or, you know, have someone else win. So games can take forever, and someone can just win out of freaking nowhere, and it's just, like, why? And see, this guy's won the hand automatically, so I know to put down a regular card, but, yeah, Jesus Christ almighty. My Trunfos got me a couple of points there, at the very least. I can only win by putting this down, but it's worth it because I got an ace and a 7. That's worth a fair few points. Okay, interesting. So I'll put down this 12, and I win. I'll put down this 11, and I lost because of Trunfos, and that's going to be a Trunfos anyways. I'll put this down, and it's going to be a Trunfos anyway, so I have to put this down. And 23, 24, and no game points were handed out that time. So this game can take fucking forever. How long have I been recording? 15 minutes? Good enough. You've seen enough. This game's insane. It doesn't tell you the truth. And there is a 2-player mode, but every player gets 20 cards, but you can only see the 4 cards the opponent has. So, this game feels even more, well, I guess this mode actually does have a bit more strategy, but yeah, it's like, what's the point of having it be a pass and play mode? It's just, this mode makes no sense. This mode literally makes no sense. So, yeah.
Welcome.
So that's all you got. You got a story mode, which is poorly translated most likely. You got a player versus CPU mode, which isn't really that entertaining to begin with. You got a weird gallery. You've got a 2-player mode, which is a weird pass and play mode that doesn't recognize the advantage of being a pass and play mode. Not worth it? Not even worth the $2 they're asking for? Yeah. Not really. This has been Blue Maxima, and I'll see you all next time.